the cinema. Ow. And here we see in Dutch, it's all in Dutch. But I didn't tell him that we're gonna go to some surprises. Welcome back at our father and son travels. After almost 2 months of traveling, we're finally going to explore Sydney. And we're gonna have a very interesting movie night. Well, good morning again from Thirroul or Thirroul, whatever you want to call it. All those place names are not really pronounceable. I'm here with Rocky again. Yeah, he's a friend, buddy. He's a friend. Yes. No, hey, Rocky. Stupid. Morning. Morning. Silly dog. It's your friend. You're the same kind. Silly dog. Yeah. You want some? You want some? Yeah. Later on we're gonna go finally to Sydney, because tonight we have a movie night in an open air cinema. That's gonna be cool. So yeah, we're gonna go later tonight, not immediately because it's like 8:30 I think. Okay buddy, let's go. Well, here we are at Thirroul station. Gonna take the train to Sydney, which takes us again an hour. And then we're gonna walk around the city a little bit and then prepare for the cinema at night, which starts at 8:30. Well, we're back again at the central station of Sydney, and the central station is divided by of course the new area, and then we have the old building around here. Looks a little bit like Amsterdam with the steel works and stuff like that. It's maybe from the same time period, sort of. Of course with Christmas trees. So yeah, right now we are in Chinatown, and you see a lot of delicious shops with a lot of good food and interesting food that we don't know.
Big portion of people really need our urgent support, and that's why we are here. The Iranian government didn't let the delegation go to visit Iran, so it's just telling you how deep and crisis it is.
At the town hall of Sydney, and it's very busy here, of course, as you can see. There are just here, there are small protests or well, like a rally or something. And yeah, in between all the new buildings, this is well, not the opposite of a sore thumb, sort of. Here we are at the so-called Queen Victoria building, which is an old warehouse, I think. Look at the tiles, sort of a mosaic of tiles. Very interesting.
Old shopping center.
Yeah, very beautiful. Pretty big. start of the Christmas tree, and underneath is the Aboriginal art. Beautiful.
Watch your step.
Yeah. This is the tree. Jesus. Taking off the children, yeah.
Oh, leuk, ja. Ja, dat is die appelfeest.
Aboriginal before white settlements. So this is sort of like a ginormous clock. Obviously there's a clock down there. Then you have those little guys that are supposedly to ring the bell. And then you have most of the coastline around here. I think almost every coastline that you can have is here. Then of course you have the date, the day, the hour and the minutes. And then there's this display of Aboriginals apparently. So before white settlement, this is the taking of the children, also known as the stolen generation. I cannot see the other side. So this is the Blue Mountains, the Second Fleet Landing, 1790, and Captain Cook's Landing, 1770. So it's basically the sequence of colonization, kind of, how it started 1770. Obviously the United States got independence in 1776. That's one of the reasons why the UK started to actually get involved in Australia, because as you can see 1770 was the landing of Cook, and then the next one was in 1790. So first he arrived before the American Revolution, and then the second one was afterwards. So that was when they already were thinking about the next option to have basically a penal colony, because that's the origin of Australia. Oh, interesting piece of art. So here you have another clock apparently, which looks like a castle. Very interesting. It was appointed by Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It's a bit hard to see, but there's something going on here.
Probably lights up and when it tries to pull out.
Well, right now we are on the bike again, going towards the venue of the cinema. We went for a little walk before, but it was a bit of it was too much to walk this, and it's almost movie time. So yeah, there we are, both on the bike again. We're now at the Centennial Park. It's a humongous park where the traffic stops take a very long time before you can finally go. Every time you have to wait for 10 minutes or something here. Anyway, very big. So yeah, this is the Centennial Park. We're at the Woollera Gates, and they have many things they do here. Among those things is the Moonlight Cinema, which we're going to do right now. But they have also other things like stars or Santa's Workshop or school programs and stuff like that. It's a very big park, as you could see before. You have plenty of options here. They have sports and activities and ponds and nature and anything you can imagine as far as I could see so quickly. But yeah, now we're gonna go to the movie. I think it was called, I don't know, actually something about the crocodile, which seemed fitting for where we are now, so we just randomly booked it. And then yeah, we have then 2 trains that can get us back home, so we definitely are hoping that those are not cancelled later on for some weird reason, because then we're pretty pretty fucked. But yeah, anyway, here we are. Hey? Oh yeah. Well, we made it to the cinema. Well, I didn't actually know that you could pre-book those bean bags or any kind of other thing, so we just have an easy blanket, but okay. In the meantime, we're surrounded by bats. Pretty wild that they're even here, like they're not in cans only, but they're even down here. It's just so big. Whole flock of tiny vampires. This is our little spot. Oh, very good. Eh?
Wait, you gotta show me how to get back. Let's see if I can eat that. Malfoy, the pet rousing my crazy aquarium gave me, he was on for 6 weeks. Yeah, I'll let. Go play Lyle's music. Oh.
Oké, eten? Eten? Din.
Din. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Yes. Yes. Din. Yeah.
Well, we made it back home after the cinema. It was a nice experience, slightly chilly, but it yeah, was nice. It was an interestingly very mellow movie, to say it the least. Good morning from Thirroul again, still. Yeah, so the last 2 days mostly I have been looking for the return flights, all writing everything down and stuff like that, comparing things. It's kind of like a puzzle, because a direct flight is very expensive. We tried to get back the 2nd of January because for the dog, for my aunt, of course, cannot look after the dog for so long, but it's just too expensive. So this is what I'm doing, just writing everything down. Well, this was how I started. You know, the small papers, and then just picked up the big one and then just puzzled everything together a bit. You know, make your own route a little bit. So this is what I sort of found as options, and of course not every cheap option is the best option. For example. So today is a rainy day, so not really doing so much. My dad is also pretty tired today, so take it easy. But I booked all the tickets, all of this mess, everything. I looked up and checked for 2 days. It's kind of like a puzzle. It's kind of fun, also a little bit fun, because it gives you a little bit of validation when you find something, or you construct your own travel and don't just type in A to B and just take whatever they give you. And yeah, we will go with the cheapest option, of course, and also the most fun. And so I told my dad sort of the route. I told him we're going the same way, but I didn't tell him that we're gonna go to some surprises, and he will find out along the way. The only thing I told him is that we're gonna land in Italy. So it's finally done. So today we made our way finally to city center after again an hour and a half train from Thirroul. It was raining this morning, but now the weather is slightly better. But yeah, here we have the view of the bridge and circular quay as they call it. So here we have the bridge, and there we have the opera house, slowly making our way towards it. And according to my dad, this has changed a lot because all these buildings are behind me, they weren't there before, apparently.
Yeah, I think so. My mother been mistaken, we were right next to it.
Or yeah, or maybe memory have faded maybe a bit, who knows. So they're all preparing everything for tomorrow night, for New Year's Eve. So here's the lights and preparations and stuff like that. Down there is the restaurant part, and then here we have probably the opera part. Because of course it's an opera house, it's an actual functioning building. But apparently the acoustics are not very great, notoriously. And the caves we were before, in the caves towards towards Rockhampton, those caves have better acoustics than this opera house apparently.
Yeah, the cave, yeah.
So yeah, it's more for the looks, I guess. Looks very 70s for some reason. It looks a little bit like those hotels from the 70s with this sort of brownish feel and feeling for some reason. Yeah. Looks nice, but must be pretty expensive. So let's go down, because the front is closed because of the firework preparations, so we will try that the 2nd of January. But yeah. Down here we have the restaurant area, the bar area at the seaside. It's underneath the opera house. You can get any kind of food you want, plus souvenir shops. Here they are preparing for tomorrow. It's all New Year's Eve preparations. at the bar having a croissant and coffee and a polenta. Of course, well, how much was it actually? This was, all of this was almost $40, which is roughly well, 6, 12, 24, well, a little bit under 24 euros. I mean, for being under the opera house, it's okay. I mean, yeah, two croissant and this and that. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Bon appetit. Yeah. So we have left the opera house for the moment because the forefront is closed off. So again, hopefully the 2nd of January we can maybe go on the other side. So now we're just exploring the botanical gardens with on the back at the background the opera house, and it's pretty big botanical garden, so we can take our time and enjoy the harbor. It's yeah, I think there's some kind of marine naval base or something, and that must be some floating restaurant or something, probably.
Yeah, well, it looks very stable. And it's all
Yeah.
the
Doesn't look like an actual functioning boat. So yeah, it's very strange because we have seen most of the eastern part of Australia. We have driven all across it. We have been to places that most even Australians would never even go, and now we are finally starting to do the main touristic stuff. So we're doing everything backwards, sort of. It's kind of ironic, and it's always kind of strange when you are at those iconic buildings which you have always seen on pictures and videos, and now you're there yourself. It's always very, very strange. The Asian section. Maples are best known for being okay. Well, in a couple of weeks we will see the real ones in Singapore. The big ones. And here we have a little hatchling sort of chick with a nest. Oh, those are those. What are those? What the hell are those things? Ficus. Oh, it's a. This is a New Guinea fig. Those are New Guinea figs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Very weird looking things.
They look ugly.
They look like
Birds.
no, how do you call those things again? It's
Beautiful.
they look like artichokes.
Oh, artichokes, yeah.
Yeah, but it says here that they're figs or something. Plant fig, yeah.
Yeah, this behind you, these.
Yeah.
Purple flowers.
So these things also look very strange. Jesus, what a leaf, eh? Crikey!
Yeah, what's it for spiders?
Wow. so tough. It's silky in the bottom.
Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah, this is to help
Yeah,
the
to
water
run down the water. I mean, now you understand that, you know, you can really use those as an umbrella, sort
Umbrella,
of.
yeah.
And build huts with them and roofs and stuff like that. It's incredible what nature can give you, right? Oh, somebody is proposing, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. There's a proposal going on. This is cute. This is a so-called wishing tree, and by holding or touching the tree, you can then make a wish, or you can walk around it 3 times forward, 3 times backward. And that's where the idea of wishing trees come from, and the saying touch wood. So I have already walked around it, and now Dad just touched it, so we have both made a wish.
Jackpot.
Well, you're not supposed to actually tell your wish.
Actually, every presentation in Korean classes are marked.
So this is the fernery, it's called, because of the ferns, obviously.
Huge ferns. Gosh, look at that. Look how they open up
It's
exactly the same.
unrolling slowly.
Unrolling, just like the little ones, the small ferns.
Yeah. This one is coming back to life. You would almost forget that you're still in Sydney. So this is the flower garden, which is a little bit antiquity kind of scenery with those statues and stuff. And in the background we have those massive new buildings. So yeah, it's a contrast everywhere. Here you have the rose garden. Some beautiful roses over here. Some pink ones.
Yeah, bixes. There's my old bixes.
Yeah, some red ones.
Oh yeah.
And some purple ones.
Beautiful purple color too.
No. Let's have a quick look at the State Library. See what's inside. So here we are in the State Library, and this is a map of Australia back then. Of course, this was discovered if you forget about the Aboriginals, by the Dutch people, and it was first claimed by the Dutch as New Holland. And here we see in Dutch, it's all in Dutch, the company of well, it's all Dutch, but still it's readable. So this is New Netherlands, what Abel Tasman, so he's the discoverer, one of them, discovered and mapped out. So all the lines, that's what he mapped, and all the dots is what he didn't map out, and what is sort of the circumference of the actual Australian part. So this is that part, of course, is completely wrong. It's not connected with New Guinea, for example.
And what was it?
And yeah, with Indonesia in general,
Yeah.
he was thinking it was some kind of connection somewhere. But most of that western part has been mapped out, and then he went underneath Tasmania, and then he went along to what is now New Zealand, where he was chased away by the natives, And after he was chased away, it took 100 years for the next people to actually go to New Zealand, the English. And then he went to some islands over there. I don't know which ones they are. They all have the old Dutch names. It's really funny. But yeah, most of those place names, of course, have changed by now. But it's very cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and that is, well, there's a point over there, Dirk Hartog Point. And he was the first, or at least one of the first, that landed on Australian soil. And he left a plaque, and that plaque is still in a museum somewhere. But yeah, they landed, the Dutch, they mostly landed on the wrong side of Australia, where there wasn't much to find, and that's why they never really did anything with it, among other things. So it's very interesting. And there's Java. So that's where most of the expedition started from Java, and then they went around or above. So this entire area is filled with paintings of governors and the first art of Australia and important people of that time, or just portraits or general Australian scenery. The Aboriginals. Those are mostly self-portraits, and here we have very long paintings, so they're put together. Here with Aboriginals. Oh, Constantinople. They look more like sketches almost. But yeah, must be a lot of work to create a piece, put it together. And Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Oh, that's what they showed us. Under construction there.
Yeah. That's a modern one. Found in Australia. There's this little art sort of put on the steps. It's a very small touch that you wouldn't notice if you don't pay attention. Little tiny art display on the steps. Very nice. this apparently is the Parliament House, the old one, of course. And there we have one of the old churches. In between the high-rising new building. Here we have a shrine at the Sydney Hospital, and if you donate and then if you then rub its nose, then you can make a wish. This is a donation from Italy to Australia, so there you go. Touched something that many other people touched.
I know you.
Here we are at the Museum Square and Park, mostly Park actually. And this is again the Anzac Memorial. It's all kind of the same style. It looks a little bit like the Canberra one. Here from a very elaborate metal artwork. Scenes from war. There we have pilots and mechanics and all kinds of stuff. There we have probably the Gallipoli boys with their particular hats. Cavalry, these guys with raincoats, and then the desert situation probably with no, they don't have any shirt on. Artillery, and there's a Lewis gun, machine gunners. With, oh yeah, and there's a tank in the background. You see the gun. Yeah. And here I ran out of battery. Anyway, that's the end of the episode. Thank you for watching, and next episode is gonna be a banger because it's gonna be New Year.